XRP just got labeled illiquid by one of the biggest financial institutions in the world. Sounds terrifying, right? Panic posts are already flooding crypto Twitter. But here's the thing. Almost nobody explaining this story actually understands what it means. So today, I'm going to break it down in simple English. And by the end of this video, you'll understand this better than 90% of the people talking about it. Let's go. What's up, everyone? Welcome back. If you've seen headlines today saying XRP classified as illiquid and felt a little worried, stay right here because I'm about to explain exactly what happened, why it happened, and whether it actually matters for your bags. And don't worry, this isn't going to be some confusing finance lecture. I'm going to explain it the same way I'd explain it to a friend over coffee. First, let's talk about who's actually behind this news. DTCC. That stands for the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. Think of DTCC like the massive back office system that sits behind Wall Street. When banks and big institutions trade stocks, bonds, or other assets with each other, DTCC is the middleman that makes sure everything settles properly. Money moves, ownership records update, nothing gets lost in the shuffle. It's not flashy. It's not something regular investors think about, but it's one of the most important pieces of plumbing in the entire US financial system. So when DTCC makes a rule about an asset, institutions actually listen, because DTCC isn't some random blog or influencer, it's core infrastructure. Now here's the actual rule that just got applied to XRP.
DTCC has a rule that says any security priced at $5 or less gets classified as illiquid. That's it. That's the whole rule. It's not about XRP specifically. It's a blanket rule based purely on price per token, nothing else. Here's an analogy that makes this click instantly. Imagine you go to a bank and try to use your car as collateral for a loan. If your car is worth $200,000, the bank is comfortable lending against it. But if your car's book value looks low on paper, even if the car actually runs great and gets you everywhere you need to go, the bank gets nervous and either won't accept it as collateral or demands you put up way more as a safety cushion. That's basically what's happening here. XRP is trading around $1.09 right now. Under DTCC's threshold, anything priced under $5 gets this illiquid label, which means if an institution wants to use XRP as collateral, they need to put up a lot more margin to cover the risk. This is not DTCC saying XRP has bad technology or XRP has no real trading volume. It's a pure price per token math rule. If XRP were trading at $6 tomorrow with the exact same trading volume it has today, this classification would disappear overnight. Here's what most panic videos are missing. This rule isn't unique to XRP. It applies to any security under $5. No exceptions, no favoritism. So this isn't some secret attack on Ripple. It's the same rule that applies to penny stocks, low-priced ETFs, or literally any asset that happens to trade under that threshold. What it does mean, practically, it makes it a bit harder, not impossible, but harder, for XRP to be used as collateral in certain institutional settings right now, at today's price. And that's exactly why this story matters for the bigger picture. It actually connects directly to why XRP's price matters beyond just number go up. A higher price genuinely unlocks more institutional utility. It's not just about profit. It changes what XRP can technically be used for inside traditional finance.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. Because on the same week this DTCC news dropped, something much more bullish was also happening. Ripple is making real progress toward what people are calling a MiCA breakout. MiCA is Europe's crypto regulatory framework, and Ripple securing this regulatory passport gives it a serious counterweight to all the legislative uncertainty happening in the US right now. At the same time, XRP's leverage ratio on Binance dropped sharply, which usually signals a market cleanup where over-leveraged positions get flushed out. Historically, that kind of cleanup often sets the stage for healthier, more sustainable price action afterward, instead of a market full of fragile, over-leveraged bets. So you've got one story that sounds scary on the surface, the DTCC classification, sitting right next to two stories that are genuinely constructive for XRP's medium-term setup. Quick price check.
XRP is trading around $1.09, up about 0.6% over the last 24 hours. Buyers are defending the 108 to 109 zone after several days of sideways movement, and price keeps printing small higher lows, meaning demand is slowly improving even though every rally toward 111, 112 keeps attracting sellers. Worth noting, the Fear and Greed Index is sitting at 25 right now, which is extreme fear territory. Historically, extreme fear readings are often when the loudest panic headlines show up, and also historically, some of the best long-term entries have come during exactly these kinds of fearful periods. That's not a guarantee of anything, just a pattern worth knowing. So let's bring it all together. XRP getting labeled illiquid by DTCC sounds scary in a headline, but once you actually understand the mechanics, it's a simple price threshold rule that applies to any asset under $5, not some unique attack on XRP. Meanwhile, real regulatory progress in Europe and a healthier leverage cleanup on Binance are happening at the same time. The full picture is a lot more balanced than the scary headlines make it look. I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. Always do your own research. But if you want news explained like this, clearly, without the panic, without the empty hype, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because this DTCC story is going to keep developing. Drop a comment. Did this clear it up for you, or do you still have questions about the DTCC rule? Let's talk in the comments. See you in the next one.